ito yung tinatype. Huwag copy and paste. Kung nagpo-program kayo, lagi ba mag-o-open kayo, then copy and paste. So, huwag nyo sanayin ang sarili nyo sa copy and paste nung body. Kasi what they did, what I see pag nag-hands-on before noon, they copy and paste the old program na ginawa nila, i-erase lang yung body, tas papalitan lang. So, katamaran, di ba? So, dapat alam ninyo talaga. So, huwag kakalimutan, marami tong include. Include IO string, includes string, so on. Pag-ano natin yan sa library. So, for example, you have to include, or there's a mathematical function na medyo, meron tayong include math. May mga ganyan. If there are certain statements that you're going to use, merong function or library function na ilalagay. So namespace means that you use the name for the objects and variable from the standard library. So blank is a white space, hindi siya ini-ignore yan ni C++. So then curly bracket is the beginning that you're going to execute the program. So yan yun. So the first is cout, meaning you have to display. So cout is used to display yung may naka-quote dun sa loob. So every C++ statement end with a semicolon. So after typing the statement, yung first line, ang tawag doon is statement. For example, cout, less than, then quote, Alicia Paterno, quote, at the end of that, meron kayong semicolon sa end. So that is telling that's the end of the line or end of the statement. So lagi. Okay, so minsan yan example na int main, then, so this one's just writing. Pwede naman siyang isulat na dire-diretso lang. So di ba dito we have the declaration, then yung start with the curly bracket, yung instead na nag-enter, ito nag-enter, curly, then cout. So pwedeng one line din siya. Kinlow siya, nag-return, close, then the curly bracket. Pwede rin naman ganyang format. But the compiler ignores the white space. However, multiple lines make the code more readable. So, mas madaling intindihan if you're going to press the enter key, bawat line. So, for example, int main, yung bracket, enter, curly bracket, enter, cout, hello world, then semicolon, enter, return, semicolon, enter, then curly bracket. Yung the sample, this one, that is written in this one. Not just written in a one-line number. Kasi pag i-edit ninyo, mas madaling mag-edit if there's something error with the statement. Pag may line number, kasi sasabihin sa inyo yung line number. So return 0 ends the main function. So do not forget to add the closing bracket, the curly bracket, to actually end the main function. So pag nakaganon, ayan siya. Now, umuhiting namespace, di ba? Dapat sharp, include IO. Then this one is using namespace, std semicolon. Now, instead of using that, we can omit that, but you have to put that on the body of the program. So, instead of using the name, eto ang ginamit. std : cout, pero mas magulong, minsan mas naguguluhan pa akong gamitin ito. Minsan merong ayaw, dalawa or dalawang STD, mga ganun po pwede. But if you already declare it on the front that you're using the cout, mas maganda yon kesa gagamit ng ganito. Minsan kasi isang colon lang ang nagagamit, semicolon. So there's an error na may ma-encounter pa kayo. Okay? But pwede siyang i-omit. Okay. So for the output, we have the cout object together with double or dalawang less than. So it is used to output the values or print. So ano naman yung ito? Ito lang ha, just to display. So pang-ulit na, yan na yun. Okay. So this one, using the multiple use of cout, ito siya. So meaning the first line is the hello world and the second line is I'm learning C++. So if we're going to compile then run, so the output will be hello world, I'm learning C++. Mabilis ba ako? Okay lang. So, kaya ako mabilis, na-discuss ko na. Alam ko nang na-discuss ko na or this is just a review. So, another things that you may use is the use of new lines. When we say new lines, another one dito. Ito yon, slash n. So slash n means new line. Kasi hello world, so meaning to say it will print the second line or the second statement or the second stanza or the sentence, I'm learning C++. So instead of slash n, that's part, you can also use the end line or ENDL. Pwede yun. Kaya lang, at the end of semicolon here, you put dalawa pa rin siyang, i-omit lang natin yung the word C out, but you have to put dalawang less than, then ENL semicolon or the end line. Yun lang yun. So, bago tayo mag-try, so ano naman to, bakit dalawa? I have to enter 2 lines. So, ginamit ko dito, entering 2 lines, kaya dalawa. So, insert, so ito yun, manipulator na isa, the ENN. So, ayan, instead of slash n, narito tayo, and, slash n. So, we use the end line. That's why I'm telling you, meron ditong dalawang semicolon. Okay. So, these are another functions or another ng mga magagamit, escape sequences. Slash n meaning new line. Slash t is the horizontal tab. So, for example, you have a table, you have to present 2 tables. So, slash t ang igagamitin ninyo. So, para pantay yung inyong output. Slash R, carriage return, meaning to say parang typewriter, just pressing the enter key. Di ba sa typewriter, may carriage return, yung ginaganon. A is alert, sound the system bell. Double is backslash, used to print a backslash character. Quote, that will be the single quote, used to print a single quote character. Then slash double quote used to print the double quote character. Yun. Then the comments. So ano naman yung comments? Di ba na-discuss pa rin natin yan before. We can use 2 slash, not backslash, 2 slash. So ibig sabihin nun, if it is 2 slash, you're just only using a word, small sentence or small word like that. This is a comment nila. But if you're going to use asterisk or slash asterisk, sentences ang gagamitin ninyo. So, bakit tayo kailangan gumamit ng comment? This is just reminding the reader of your program or the user of the program what part of the program na yung ine-execute. So, yun lang yun. Bakit meron? So, yung multiple lines na i-enter natin as a comment, you're going to use slash asterisk at the beginning and at the end will be, or you have to close it, asterisk slash. Pag hindi ninyo siya kinlose, meaning to say, even though it is a part of your program, that is part of the comment pa rin. Naka-comment pa rin yun, kaya hindi niya yan ipe-perform. So, dapat you have to close it. Ayan. So, any text between slash asterisk and asterisk slash will be ignored by the compiler. So, for example, ito malahaba. The code below will print the word hello to the screen and it is amazing. So, you use slash asterisk slash rather than using the 2 forward or backslash. So, yun yan. Comment lang naman yan. Yan. Then, we have now the variables. What are those variables? This one is declaring. Bakit we have to need to put or we use the variables? Okay, so variables are container for storing data values. So sa memory, dapat merong mga parts or container yan na pagpupuntahan. So para mabasa yung variable or yung value na i-enter nyo, dapat meron tayong variables. Now, there are types of variables. Ano-ano yung types of variables that we have to declare? First is int. Int stands for integer. So meaning, you're going to enter a whole number without decimal place or 1, 2, 3 or negative 1, 2, 3 or positive. Hindi ko pala na-highlight yung double. So that is int, meaning you enter the whole number. Double, meaning you have to store a floating point number. So this such as 19.99, 95.25, mga ganyan. So that is double. floating. So, dalawa hindi. Pwede mo, sa double or floating, pwedeng you use double and double float. Float, gagamit kayo ng float lang or double float. Character, you have to store a single letter. Isang letter lang if you have to declare. Kung, for example, gagamit lang kayo ng Y to stands for the name. So, isa lang character ang gagamitin ninyo. So, character value also surrendered by the single quote. Tandaan, string. So, the string stored text such as the hello word, meaning to say marami. Dalawang word yan ginamit, hindi character lang or letter. So, string value are surrendered by quote. Ayan. So, you can see here, 8A is surrendered or quoted by a single quote. So, that is declared character. But if you want to use the word, you have to use the double quote and that is declared as a string variable. Then we have bool, stands for the Boolean variable, stores value with the two state which is true or false. Yun lang ang state niya. Pagdating nyo pa ng sa encoding sa Boolean, doon pa kayo decoding, tsaka nyo yung pag-aralan, yung sa logic gates, 1, 0, 1 times 1 is equals to 1, 0 times 1 is equals to 0. Pag-aaralan natin yan sa fundamentals later. So, saan gagamitin yon? Magagamit nyo yan dyan sa Boolean. Gagawa kayo ng logic gates. The OR, the AND OR gates. So, especially computer engineering. Sa science, hindi masyado, hapyaw lang sa atin yun. Pero sa engineering, gamit nila yan. Okay. So, declaring, creating variables, yun lang yun, value. So, this is an example given. So, this one, integer, the variables na ginamit ay my number and the declaration is constant. Dineclare siya ng constant, yung value ay 15. So, CL slash less than my number. So, what will be the output? So, there's no need to store, diba? To store or to use cin to store the value kasi constant nandito niya. So, wala na kayong makikita CIN or sin greater than my number. No need. Kasi nakastore na siya dito. So, di-display. So, what will be the output? 15. Ang magiging output lang yan is 15. Okay. So, my number. So, dito naman sa example na to, ano to? Int my number. So, declaration, integer, yung variables na ginamit, the variables is my, or the identifier is my name, the value is 15. So, comment, my number is 15. So, nire-remind niya na ang value ng my name is 15. So, my number is equals to 10. That is for the second. So, since you're using one variable, dito, my number, di ba? Isang variable lang yan. So, the first is you store 15. But on the second line, you store or you assign that my num is equals to 10. So, sa memory ng computer, the last that you have entered, yun yung mariretain. So, now my value is 10. So, if you have to print my number, it is now 10. The output is 10. So, even though you use both, dalawa, you assign it first as 15, then you assign on the second that it is equal to 10. Now, ang makikita niyan sa storage, sa variable na nakastore dun sa identifier niya na my number, that will be 10. Clear? Is it clear? So, yung huling pumasok na value, yun yung makukuha unless you put 0 or nag-assign. So, babalik siya dun sa una. So, pag binasa yan, ano yung magiging output nito dun sa atin? The output will be 10 kasi that will be the last value na pinasok or inassign dun sa variable na my number. Klaro po? Am I clear? So how are you going to declare? Integer my number is the identifier that is equals to 5 without decimal place. So that is an integer. Double my float, num. So dito, double my float num, meaning to say it is a floating number. 5 point with decimal place. So, tingnan ninyo how are to declare. Character, my letter, so the variable or the identifier, then the value will be D. So, yung laman ng my letter is D. That is a character because it is used this single quote and it is only using one letter. Tandaan ninyo yan ha. String, word, then boolean, that is true or false. Paulit-ulit si Miss. Talagang ganon. Okay, display the variables, combine text and variables. So this is how are you going to combine. So nandun lang tayo sa body So we initialize integer, initialization tayo. We use the variable or the type of variables in integer, meaning my age, then the value is 35. You want to display a text with the value, so ganito yung mangyayari. Cout less than I am. Then, my age is 35 years old. So what will be the output? So if you're going to simulate this statement, this is what we call the statement. What will be the output? Anybody from the class? Yes, Mr. Corpus.
Ano ma'am? 35 po.
Pardon?
35 po.
No, you're wrong. Yes, Mr. Sikenya.
I think the output would be...
Lakasan, hindi ko marinig.
I think the output would be I am 35 years old.
Yeah, very good. So the output will be, you are telling to display, naka-quote, I am, then my age is with the value of 35, that's why I am 35, then you are displaying years old. So I am 35 years old. Pero, okay, so how about naman if it is number? So to declare more than one variables at the same type, use a comma to separate the list. So this one we nag-declare tayo ng constant integer, x is our variable, y and z. X has a value of 5, y has a value of 6, and z has a value of 50. Now, statement is Cout greater than x plus y plus z. What will be the output? So it is just getting the total without storing it in a certain variable. You are just performing the computation, but you tell to display it only. Output lang. Cout lang. So we don't have to use the variable. So what will be the output? Anybody? Yes, Mr. Jetiso. Five plus 6 plus 50. Is it? Try natin yan mamaya. Tandaan ninyo. Tatry ninyo para tinan natin kung tama. Tama? Kenshin, ano yung binubulong mo doon? Ano yung sinasabi mo dyan?
Ano po? 61 po.
So the value is 61. Why is it 61?
Inano na po, kinompute.
Kinumpute because there is no, yung sa answer ni Gabriel, ni Jetiso, para mangyari yung 5 plus 6 plus y, dapat naka-quote. Lalagyan ninyo ng quote dito. Naka-quote yan. Quote, x is 5 plus y is 6 plus z is 50. So ganun yung answer pag naka-quote siya. Kay Kenshin na answer is 61 kasi you have to perform. There's no variable na store. Kaya lang, there's an operator that they use to add. So, ang mangyayari niyan, ipiprint daw 5, an operator plus, so 5 plus 6 plus 50, automatic, wala namang in-store na ipinlast yung operation niya or the processing, 61. So later, type natin yan. Susulat ko lang para hindi ko malimutan. X is equals to 5, y is equals to 6, then z is equals to 50. Cout x plus y plus z. Okay. So later yan yung ating itatry sa hands-on para makita nyo. Identifier, is there any question? 9, the X and Y. Okay, so these are the notes that you have to remember in naming a variable or using the identifier. So identifier can be a short name or more descriptive name. So pag descriptive, for example, last name, you can use the word last name as your identifier. First name, middle initial. So yung natatandaan ninyo, na alam ninyo na ang hinihingi ay yung name, yung last name or first name or the age. So yun yung sinasabing descriptive dito. Ano, the age. So meaning to say you have to enter the age. Some you have to find the total value. So note, it is recommended to use descriptive names in order to create understandable and maintainable code. So para pag medyo there's an error, madali para sa inyo ang mag-edit. Okay? So rather than, so halimbawa, the good one. So this is a good variable, meaning to say, you have to use or you have to enter minute per hour. How many minute per hour? That is 60, di ba? So madali na alam ninyo na yung hinihingi. So rather than using int m is equals to 60, what does m means? So if you are a programmer, alam mo, ikaw nag-program nun eh. Paano mo titingnan ko, ano yung m na yan? Is that stands for the minute, maximum, minimum, or what? Di ba? So mas madali na alam mo ang hinihingi na minute per hour. So, mali ko ba dyan sa M? Miles ba yan? Per second or what? So, mas maganda yung descriptive. Okay, so there are some rules in constructing a variable or a unique variable identifier. It is just almost the same. So, names can be contains letters, digits, and underscore. So, in naming, you don't have to put space. Tandaan nyo na dapat walang space. If you want to use yung sentence nga, or for example, you're going to use a lot of characters, kung may space, you have to put underscore. Halimbawa yan, minutes, underscore, per, underscore, r. Kung ayaw ninyo na dire-diretsong minutes per hour, pwede siyang lagyan ng underscore for the space. So name must be begin with a letter or an underscore. Name are case sensitive. So if you declare the variable my bar or the identifier my bar and you use this one to display, that will be wrong because capital B is different to small v. So kung ano yung ginamit, yon ang gagamitin sa even output. Names cannot contain the white space or the special characters. So wala daw siyang blanco and you cannot use punctuation, sharp, and percent. And ano pa ba yung mga other characters? Yung caret, yung asterisk, yung mga yan. Kasi there's a function yan sa math. Diba? May function yan. For example, I think sa Boolean, dalawang punctuation gamit. Yung sharp is used for the libraries, yung mga start, yung may include, that's part. Then yung percent is used sa math modulus, divisible by 0. A value should not be divisible or divided by. And also, in naming an identifier or variable or value, you cannot use the reserved word. C++ has a reserved word na hindi natin pwedeng gamitin. So later, so halimbawa with the use of int, because that is used to declare as an integer. So hindi natin pwedeng gamitin. So later, pwede kong ipakita sa inyo yung mga reserved variables. Yung exit, yung mga ganyan, break, mga hindi pwedeng gamitin yan. Then the user input, meaning you have to input. So, sin ang gagamitin natin. So, sin is a predefined variables that read data from the keyboard and the extraction operation with the use of double or dalawang greater than. So, ano naman ibig sabihin nun? Example, int x. So, identifier natin is x. Type a number. So, comment natin, a number and press enter. So meaning to say you have to input a number coming from the keyboard. Diba? Then that number that you has pressed or you have pressed that on the keyboard will be stored on variable X. Ito siya. That's why you have here sin X. So get the user input from the keyboard. Kung ano yung ginamit ninyo, yun yung mag-i-store dito. So sa storage, X yung nakalagay. Then your number is X, then this is the display. So what will be our output? So ang ating output dyan, pag nag-simulate na tayo, your number is, So the first screen will be type a number. So magta-type kayo, halimbawa you type 8. So that 8 will be stored sa sin X. So your number is 8. So the output will be your number is 8. Nagigets ba yung sinasabi ko? Is it clear? Klaro ba ako? Uy, mag-start na kayo mag-program. Di ko na kayo i-entertain pag nagpo-program na kayo. Bahala na kayo sa buhay niyo. Joke. Wala pang tanong? So, good to know that cout, pronoun cout is used to output, to display. Cin is used for input. You have to enter. Okay? Nako, malapit na sila. So, this one is already done. Declare ko na. So, the basic type, how many sizes ang pwedeng ilagay for the integer, 4 bytes. Store whole number without the decimal. Float, 4 bytes. Store fraction number containing 1 or more decimals, sufficient for storing 7 decimal digits. Double is 8. Store fractional number containing 1 or more decimals, sufficient for storing 15 decimal digits. So yan, binigay ko na rin lahat yan. Boolean is 1. Store true or false or F or T. Character 1 byte. So, using the single character. Okay? Now, this is an exercises. Sige nga, let's try. So, add the correct data type for the following integer. So, you just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the correct data type? What are those data type? Ulit, what are those data type? Int stands for integer, float, double, character, boolean, and string. Sige. Let us answer. Number 1. My num is equals to 9. So, anong ilalagay ninyo dyan? What is the type? Yes, Mr. Jetiso. Int my 9 is equals to 9. Very good. Second, who would like to answer for the second? Yes, De Peralta. Kigan. Hinata.
It's float. My double num is equal to 8.99.
Pardon?
Float.
Float.
My double num.
Okay. Float my double 9. Okay. So it can be a float or a float that 8.99. Third one. The third line. Third line. Who would like to answer? Francis.
Ano po, hindi ko sasabihin ko po ng pang Filipino, char.
Char, yeah.
Opo.
Char.
Pero character po siya.
Character, yes. So char or character, my letter is equals to A. Next. Who's that? Chikote.
Boolean po.
That is, paano nga? Is it the word boolean?
Nakalimutan ko po.
Nakalimutan. Ayan. Oh. Bool. Ayan siya. Oh. Bool. My boolean is true. Ayan, no? Ayan sila lahat. Oh, di ba? Double. Load. Double. Okay? Then my text is string. Yes, Mr. Corpus.
Ano ma'am? String po. String my
String, my
text.
text. Okay, very good. So, naintindihan, walang tanong. Numeric float, wala na yan. Na-discuss ko na yan. Scientific. So, yan, pinakita lang. Yung float and rules, so on, so forth, and so on. Ano pa, wala na. So, we will now go to I just want to explain this one. So, these are the mathematical operators that you're going to use. So, plus sign stands for the addition, x plus y. Subtraction. Asterisk is multiplication. Sa computer, yan ang ginagamit. Slash stands for the division. Yung percentage, kaya hindi siya pwedeng gamitin kasi yung sa reserve word, that stands for modulus. Return the division, the remainder. Then, plus plus meaning increment. You have to add. 1 plus 1, parang ganun yung value niya. So, that is plus plus. Increment. So, x plus 1. So, this one stands for x plus x. Parang ganun. Or x plus 1. Increment. X plus 1. So, minus stands for decrement. So, decrement the value. I values. Tandaan ito ha. Yan ang mga gagamitin ninyo. So, these are the reserved words. So, identifiers may contain number but cannot begin with a number. Tandaan, hindi daw pwedeng mag-start sa number ang identifier. They cannot contain any punctuation character other than underscore. Also, you cannot use any of the keyword of the language such as int, double, if, try, private, long, return, case, class, float, static, do, while, and super other. So, ibig sabihin, hindi nyo pwedeng gamitin tong word na to as your identifiers or variables. Ako, hindi ko pala natapos. Sagutan natin ngayon yung ano natin. O, sige. For the first activity that you're going to do, create a simple, yung ano, lalagay ninyo, the file name will be my first program. You have to display or create a program that will display, hello, I'm your name, enjoying my C++ subject. Repeat. Miss, sulat mo nga, miss. Pakisulat. Hello, I am, your name ang i-display. Hello, I am Mrs. Paterno. And the second line will be enjoying my C++ class. Then you have to save that using my first program. So, stop muna ako ng presentation. Gagawa ako sa classroom na doon ninyo siya isasubmit. Okay?